If your sales page isn't converting the way you want, it's most likely missing the answer to one of the 9 must answer questions for closers. So let's jump in and find out.
Let's go. I don't know what comes in, but I couldn't care less. I refuse to be stressed. There's no fear in my chest. Hear the boom from my stairs. Walk away from the pain I've been through. This feeling I'm feeling is brand new. This the moment I break through.
Welcome to 10-Minute Masterclass, your weekly mic drop for business breakthrough. I'm your host, Trey Sheneman, and it's my goal each week on 10-Minute Masterclass to drop timeless business principles that will help you solve today's business problems. Now, whether it was in my years running startups like I am now and like I did before, or in the other years kind of in the middle of my career where I was heading up growth inside of some pretty well-known brands, growth for us always came down to fixing problems and bottlenecks inside of one of the core 4 drivers of growth, areas of the business that I think are what spurs or stops growth: marketing, sales, ops, and leadership. Now, in this podcast, each week, we take one of those core 4 drivers and we drive down deeper into that one subject, and we teach you something that I believe will be of merit and value to you if you were to apply it to your business. Now, in today's episode, we're specifically talking about the sales bucket, and we're talking about conversion rates and how to make your conversion rate go up. Now, let me just kind of preface the teaching for today by saying we work with businesses that are both D2C, B2B. Sometimes they're B2B2C, which is just a whole different thing to explain. I'm not going to get off on that tangent. The idea is I work with a myriad of business types. I've worked with a bunch of business types in the past as well, just like I do right now. And at the end of the day, whether it's D2C, B2B, or B2B2C, it's really just P2P, or people to people. And there's a human nature thing here when it comes to conversion rate optimization that we have to be aware of. Now, I will say the majority of the businesses we work with right now have a digital conversion function to their business. They're not necessarily selling offline. They might sell over the phone, but they might sell over Zoom, but a lot of them are selling on their websites. So whether you're writing sales scripts or you're writing a sales page, I think the content today is going to help you. So the main premise, kind of jumping off point as we jump into today's content, is that when you get to a sales page, specifically this use case, people aren't really reading. Okay, they're scanning. They're kind of moving between what Sheneman calls System 1 and System 2 thinking. That's the Thinking Fast and Slow. The name of the book was going to come to me. But, System 1 thinking is like it's heuristic driven. It's shortcut driven. It's like, how do I scan through and kind of get to the point and make the decision? System 2 thinking is more reasoning driven. It's slower. And the last thing we want to do is force people on our sales pages into System 2 thinking. Now, hear me on this. On certain purchase points, certain levels of investment, they're automatically going to go to System 2 thinking because they're having to spend so much more money. So if you're selling a high-ticket coaching package, as an example, or a car or a house, a substantial investment, they're walking in System 2 thinking. But for everyone else, we really want to try and keep people in System 1 thinking. So the art of this heuristic that I'm going to teach you, these 9 must-answer questions for a sales page, is the idea of how do you empower the prospective buyer to be able to quickly scan through, see themselves on the page, get their questions answered, and make a buying decision. Okay, so hopefully you understand what I'm talking about here between these 2 systems. If you don't, go read the book. It's a great book. But mainly the kind of premise for today is we want to have not only the right words on our sales pages, the right words in our sales scripts, we want to have them in the right order. So let's jump into these questions. Number 1, first question we got to answer is, who is this for? Seems pretty obvious, but the real spirit behind this question that your prospect is trying to answer in their brains is, am I in the right place? Is this offer actually for me? So the way that we do this, the way that we answer that question, is we make sure that our ideal customer, our avatar. So if you didn't listen to the episode right before this one, go back and listen to that one, because once you've done that work, you'll know who your avatar is. You can do what I'm about to say next. You can make that person feel seen immediately when they land on the sales page. You do that through the headline that you use on the sales page. Something like, this is for high-performing COOs who need better visibility, or designed for working moms juggling 1,000 tasks, okay? You want to call people out by their identity, not the way that you identify them, the way that they identify themselves. So it's more than demographic, it's psychographic. It's the feeling that that person is having and the way you contextualize it with the first answer to this question. So that's number one. Number two, what is this? Like, what am I even looking at? Might be a better way they might ask this question in their brain. So make sure that you don't bury your offer. You know, Donald Miller talks about making sure your CTA is of a certain spot on your webpage above the fold, because you want to like reduce the number of mental calories it takes somebody to figure out what the heck it is you're trying to sell. And so I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I think you need to lead with your offer somewhere very quickly on the page so that people understand exactly what it is they're even there to consider. Who is it for? Yes, for me. Okay, what is it that you're trying to sell? Yes, I want to consider this. So don't bury it. Just have a very clear, simple, easy above the fold summary, probably in an H2. If that first headline was your H1, probably in an H2. You know, as an example, this is a 12-week coaching program that helps solopreneurs launch with confidence. You know, it's very plain, specific, right to the point. So that's number two. Number three, what's the big result they'll get? The way they might ask this question in their own heads would be, why should I care? And so we want to make sure that we're not speaking about tools, but speaking about transformation. So we want to use what we would call outcome language in the marketing game. Turn chaos into clarity. Double your leads without doubling your hours. So you can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fit together the way the copy is working as you move down the page. A framework for the answer to the big result question would be from pain to desired result, comma, without obstacle. Okay. Double your leads without doubling your hours. Okay. So use that as a little heuristic whenever you're working through this. Number four, is there a money screenshot or proof or ROI? So the question, the way they're framing that in their head would be, has this worked for anybody else? You know, this thing that I'm working through, this is the, you know, Jerry Maguire for our younger generation. This is the show me the money moment on the website here, where we want to use graphs or testimonial quotes or screenshots of like actual commentary on Facebook or Instagram of somebody telling you on your company page in their own comments how their life changed. And we grab a screenshot of that, or metrics, whatever it is here. We want to show qualitative wins. Not in our own words, but in someone else's words. Okay. Then from there, now we're building on the trust that has started in that section with this next question, which is, why should they trust you? Maybe there's other products out there that could have driven some of those same graphs, testimonials, and so on and so forth. Why should they trust you? Why you? So you want to go a step further. This is when you'll see brands do like a founder's note, like a note from the founder. You'll see this where they go deeper than chatter on Facebook and they show a case study, or they show certifications, or they show something like the as seen on TV ribbons that you see people do. Because ultimately, people are buying products, but they're really buying belief in the product first, okay? And that's what we got to sell. Number six, they want to know if you've validated the problem. Do they actually understand my pain? So before you can sell them, now you need to move into a diagnosis session. This is where you go back to that very first headline that you wrote, and you really build out some deeper copy here that explains the pain that your product actually solves. And this is where you use all of that voice of customer data and copy that you learned in the episode before. So again, if you've not listened to the episode before this one, go back. After that, you zoom up a little bit to number 7, which is, have you zoomed in or out enough on the product? What I mean by that is like, actually show them examples of what it is you sell, the physical product, the subscription, the coaching, whatever it is, at about a 70% release. So you don't want to go too deep, but you don't want to be too shallow. So you want to make sure you leave some room for curiosity in the way you describe your product. Then you're going to circle back again to more social proof and testimonials. Who else has really used this product? And this is where you want to lay out the problem they faced, how they used your solution, and then the result they got. So this is the third different place on the page that we've used trust. And then the 9th question, the last question is, do you have a clear, repeated CTA throughout the page? There should be this many CTAs on a sales page. It just might be there 4 or 5 times. For those of you not watching the video, I held up my one finger. There should be one CTA mentioned multiple times. That CTA should be clear. Book your strategy call now. Start your 7-day free trial now. claim your spot before it's gone. Whatever it is, it should be clear and repeated, basically telling them, here's what to do next. Here's what you're going to get when you do it, and here's what happens after that. So, hey, this week, go pull your sales page up. Work your sales page with your sales team or your conversion optimization team through these 9 questions. Make sure that it answers well, and if it's missing any of these things, then fix it. Because when you answer the questions your buyer's actually asking, the ones they're asking in their heads, you're not just going to get clicks to the page. You're actually going to get conversions. And that's what I'm after for you and your business. Hope you got something out of this episode. As always, I'm so grateful that you took the time to listen. And until next time, we'll see you on the flip side.